We're back again with Patricia Morison. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, thank goodness. No, I was just saying that Lucy had a radio show called My Favorite Husband with Richard Denning.
Yes.
And that was based on the same book that your movie was based on. And then ultimately she turned that into I Love Lucy on TV.
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't it?
Uh-huh.
But then you got loose from Paramount not long after that, and you were the Empress Eugenie in Song of Bernadette.
Yes.
Was that a satisfying film for you? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
There you are. Good.
You know what? I walked to the kitchen. I picked up my kitchen phone. I think it's my battery.
There you go. Well, the kitchen phone is good.
Yep.
So, Song of Bernadette.
Yes.
Vincent Price, but you didn't work together on that.
No, we didn't.
That was a wonderful, wonderful film. It was one of the classics.
Wasn't it a beautiful film?
Yeah.
Mm.
And then one of my favorites, the Dorothy Hughes book, The Fallen Sparrow, with John Garfield.
Oh, that's a great movie.
It is.
But a lot of me was cut out of that for some reason.
Do you have any memories of John Garfield? Any special memories?
Oh well, yes. I don't have any stories or anything. He was another one of the serious actors, you know, when he was on the set.
Right. Oh yeah. Don't interrupt me. I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he came from the group theater from.
That's right. I used
watered down Stanislavski.
That's right. I used to watch all those. I went to the neighborhood playhouse. You know, I studied there. And
was Meisner teaching there by then?
Yes, and also with Martha Graham. I took dance with Martha Graham.
Wow. My mother-in-law was a Martha Graham dancer.
And she kept telling me, "Give up the theater, be one of my dancers." I said, "No way."
The theater was it. And then you went back to Broadway for a short-lived thing called Allah Be Praised.
Oh, God, yes.
Which was produced by Alfred Bloomingdale.
Yes, on the opening night, one of the critics said he should go back to minding the store.
Well,
but it has some pretty songs in it and some lovely dance numbers.
Well, are there any standards that came out of that?
No.
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 No, I guess when it flops, no one's going to cover them. And then you went back and you went to MGM and Without Love, and I remember Keenan Wynn all the way through going on about Cousin Edwina. And I go, where is Cousin Edwina? And then
where is she? Hardly there.
And then it turns out to be the ravishing Patricia Morison.
Yes.
I have to tell you, I think if he'd stuck to it, he was better off with you than with Lucille Ball. But
well, you never know. I thank you.
You're welcome. And Lady on a Train with Deanna Durbin.
Gosh, you remember these things. I've even half forgotten most of them.
and then, of course, you know, you're what has made you a movie icon, playing the evil Hilda Courtney in Dress to Kill.
Uh-huh. I enjoyed that. I loved doing that. We had a lot of fun with that film. Every afternoon we'd break for tea, because Basil liked to have his afternoon tea, and they used to wheel the tea cart onto the set, and everybody had to stop and have tea.
Whether they liked it or not. The poster, by the way, I mean, it's your poster. You look so beautiful in it. And
really?
Have you never, I mean, the poster is mostly you. Basil and Nigel Bruce are down in the corner, and it's you in this gorgeous outfit.
Oh, yes.
I'll have to see if I can find you a copy of it, because they reproduce it a lot.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah. And then you were Maid Marian briefly.
Oh, you remember that?
Well, it's such a, I mean, John Hall obviously got
yes.
tired of being in those Arabian Nights movies, and then they said, okay, you can be Robin Hood.
Yes. That was a lot of fun to make. I don't know, it was not a very good movie, but it was a lot of fun.
No.
And
that happens a lot, you know. You have a good time, sometimes when you're having too good time in the movie, it's like,
forget it.
Forget this while we're having a good time.
Yes.
And then the other thing I discovered that I never knew, I love Kiss of Death, and they always talk about Victor Mature's wife, and she's very unhappy, and then it turns out she committed suicide. But we never, ever saw her, and I just discovered you were his wife.
Oh, I have to tell you the story of that.
Please.
Darryl Zanuck said, "Now this is a terrific role for you." So I played his wife, and we shot it all down in the Italian section in New York.
Right.
You know, I lived in a tenement, and I went shopping in the cheese store and went to church and everything, and had a baby. And he's been sentenced to go up the river, and he assigns one of his henchmen to look after me, and his henchman rapes me.
Oh my God!
And I'm so ashamed. I put my head in the oven and kill myself.
And this was all shot?
It was all shot, and I had got a telegram from Darryl Zanuck says, "Pat, this is an Academy Award performance. The censors cut it out.
Wow.
You were never allowed to show rape in a film or show anybody committing suicide." There's a book out by a man called The Unkindest Cuts of All, I don't remember his name, in which he writes of the different cuts from films, and that's one of them that he wrote about.
Do you have any stills from this?
No, I don't.
I got it, because one thing about Fox, they never throw anything out. That footage may still be in a vault somewhere.
That would be interesting.
I would love to find a still of you from that.
Anyhow,
comes 1948, and the rest is history. Kiss Me, Kate.
That's right. Now, I was not known as a singer, you know. I've been studying all the time.
Do you remember the party that Cole Porter heard you sing at?
Well, I don't remember the party, because all I remember was my manager called me up and said, "I'm taking you out to Cole Porter's house to sing for him." And I said, "What?" And yes, he said, I just wanted to just it's not for anything, but just go out. So he had a house in Rockingham out here in Brentwood, and I went to the house and I purposely sang Rodgers and Hammerstein, and he handed me the score of Kiss Me, Kate. Said, "Learn these and come back." And I did, and he said, "Boy, this is wonderful." And he telling New York, "I think I found our Kate." And they said, "No, we don't want her. She's a movie actress. You couldn't hear her beyond. She can't sing. You couldn't." He said, "Of course she can." And they said no. And they had an opera star in mind called Jarmila Novotna, who was very beautiful. She was at the Met. And they said, and anyway, Cole rented, you know, the Wilshire E. Bell Theater here on Wilshire?
Of course, yes.
He rented it one afternoon, and he took me and my accompanist, and we went to the theater, and I stood on the stage with a piano, and he climbed up to the upper balcony while I sang, because they said you couldn't hear him sing. So he said, "You're all crazy," and well, nothing happened, and I was signed to do one of the first series, which was called The Cases of Eddie Drake. And I was going to start shooting on a Monday. And on a Friday, I got a call from Bob Hope, because I was with the first USO unit that went overseas during the war with Merle Oberon and Al Jolson to entertain the troops. We went to England. And he said, "We're going to a big rally in Madison Square Garden for everybody who went overseas." I said, "I can't possibly go," to my agent. "I'm starting shooting on Monday." He said, "Pat, you get on that plane." And I flew to New York and did the show at Madison Square Garden and went to the Century Theater and sang. And all of a sudden, Bella Spiewak and her husband, the writers, were all over me, and the producers. Oh, this and that and the other. And I get home, and Cole called, "Well, you've got the part." I said, "Well, we're going to start rehearsal next week." I said, "How can I do that? I'm going to be shooting this series." So they put it off for 2 weeks, because the people doing the series said, "Miss Morison, all your scenes are in you play a psychiatrist, and all your scenes are in a doctor's office. So we can shoot them all at once and get rid of it, so you can go to New York if you promise to plug our show when you get to New York." And so that's how I got to get to New York and do Kiss Me, Kate.
And had you any idea that it would be this iconic, immortal musical when you did it?
No, none of us knew what we had. We didn't really know until we opened in Philadelphia. And we really didn't know.
Were there major changes, or was it basically?
No, there weren't any changes. It was
no
just...
songs were dropped?
Oh, yes, there was one lovely song that was dropped called We Shall Never Be Younger in the first act when it was replaced with Wunderbar because they said it was too sad.
Did it ever resurface anywhere that you know of?
No.
Wow.
Lovely song.
In the archives.
We're fighting, and then the song is, we shall never be younger, Father Time goes gaily ticking along. We shall never be younger, soon the spring will tire of singing its song. The bee needs the flower the bee, just as I need my darling, and my darling might even need me. So why let love die of hunger? We shall never be younger than we are today. Very pretty song.
Beautiful.
Beautiful song, yes.
And congratulations on remembering it 63 years later.
Well, that's one thing I do have. I can tell you that.
You have total recall. It's wonderful.
Thank God.
Well, I love talking to you because I can, all these questions I've had for years.
Uh-huh.
So the show ran for over 1,000 performances in New York.
That's right.
Did you stay with it the whole time?
Oh, yes. Never missed a performance.
How many understudies did you burn through?
A couple.
They gave up.
Poor dears.
And then you went to London to do it. And how long did you do it there?
I was nearly 2 years. With
and you
Bill
never
Johnson.
Tired of doing this?
What? No. I never got tired of doing it. I never said, "Oh, God, do I have to do it again tonight?" No, I enjoyed every minute.
That's fantastic. And then when it finally closed, you went into King and I. You were the last Anna in the original production.
Yes, with Yul Brynner.
And then you went on tour.
And that was a wonderful experience.
How amazing. And the great thing also for people, who only ever saw the movie of Kiss Me, Kate, you and Alfred Drake got to do it on TV. And I think
Yul Brynner.
No, of Kiss Me, well, yes, I know you did.
Oh, Kiss Me, Kate. Oh, yes.
You did a scene from King and I on TV with Yul Brynner. Absolutely.
That's right. I did Shall We Dance.
But then you and Alfred Drake got to do Kiss Me, Kate on TV, and I think it was the first videotape in color.
Yes, and it almost disappeared. We were shooting it out in Brooklyn, and it was shot without cuts, like it was a stage play, the first act and the second act. And at midnight there was going to be a strike of all the TV workers, and we had to finish it before midnight. And we got all the way through to the very last scene in which she's leaving her husband, walking out the stage door, and the stagehand, a regular stagehand, happened to walk through, and he looked at the camera and he said, "Oh my God," and he ran, instead of just walking through. So we had to shoot the entire second act before midnight, and we just made it before the strike started.
And then you got to do it yet again on TV with Howard Keel, who starred in the movie.
In London.
Do you know if that exists?
I have no idea.
Oh, I would love to see that. He was much taller than Alfred Drake, God knows.
Oh, yes, Alfred wasn't tall at all.
No, he wasn't. I know. He was just a little...
He looked tall on stage. He used to go out the stage door and people didn't recognize him.
And then we talked about this morning. My favorite episode of Have Gun Will Travel with Richard Boone starred you and Vincent Price.
Yes.
And you were touring players.
We were touring players in the West, and we were booked into this saloon. And the guys in the saloon thought they were getting a girly show. And when we were doing the final scene in Othello, they couldn't figure out what it was, and they started to get rowdy. And who was the hero? What was his name?
Richard Boone.
Richard Boone comes in with his gun and makes them all sit down and behave themselves.
What I remember, and I haven't seen this thing in probably 40 years, is they discovered that to everyone's amazement, you and Vincent Price were married, and somebody said, "But you have a different name."
That's right.
And I remember you looking at, of course, we're actors.
That's right. You remember that.
Oh,
lovely.
And apparently it was either the pilot or it was one of the first episodes, and they shelved it for 3 years because they said, this is so strange and so unusual for a Western were afraid to put it on. They thought no one would watch it. That would kill the show.
Uh-huh. It didn't.
Now, you did Kiss Me, Kate, as I said, originally in 1948, and 30 years later you did it again at the Birmingham Rep in England.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Who was your Fred when you did it there?
I can't remember.
I don't know either. I have no answer for it, but bravo. I remember seeing Merman do Annie Get Your Gun 20 years later, and I thought, how extraordinary. But 30 years later to do that role again.
Yeah, and then I did it again at City Center in New York.
After that or before that?
I think it was before that.
Right, I think it was in the 60s.
With Bob Wright.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now tell me about your painting. Are you still painting?
The last 6, I have one bedroom of my apartment is my studio. I have everything in there. I went and bought a whole lot of new brushes and things. And I started something, and just the last few months, I walk in and I walk right out. I don't have any inspiration. But I do a lot of sketching. I have.
Well, maybe.
I can't walk very much anymore.
Right, I know.
And which is a bloody bore. But there it is.
It's the deal, I guess. And you get to 96, something, you got to make some concession.
Yeah, I used to be up every morning at 6 o'clock, put on my jeans and get right out and run all through Park La Brea to the farmer's market, have a cup of coffee, and run all the way back every morning. And I still wake up at the same time.
You're beyond extraordinary.
And I'm still singing. I just a month ago we have what we call the stage benefit, which is for AIDS.
Yes.
And everybody does it. And it was done down at Cal State at the Luckman Auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
And it was called Original Roles, and everybody was singing from the different shows that they'd done. And I had to be seated on a beautiful chaise, and I sang So in Love, and it stopped the show.
You have never not stopped the show, Patricia Morison.
Oh, I don't know about that. But thank God I still have that's one thing, I still have my voice. And you're not supposed to have a voice when you're 96.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Well, I hope I get to meet you in person.
When we're done when I sign off, I'll get back to you, and we'll make a rendezvous. I promise you.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, for me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.